my test.
Wait, when did you move to Texas?
Here,
pull that as close to your face,
a couple years ago.
Well, yeah. What happened?
It's my home, man.
I know, but what was that? Everyone wants to leave.
The only thing I loved about LA was late nights at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
It was bros, real motherfuckers, hanging out, right?
Yeah.
Other than that, I hated everything. I mean, literally everything.
Yeah.
And then people would be like, well, don't you love the weather? And then when it was shitty weather, I'm like, well, there goes fucking everything. And then I had a kid, had a little boy, and I just wanted to be close to my parents.
Yeah.
I make enough money now that I can be anywhere at any time.
Yeah.
And a flight from Austin to LA is 2.5 hours.
Are you in Austin?
I'm south of Austin.
Where are you at?
Town called New Braunfels, Texas.
I know New Braunfels.
Yeah,
I know New Braunfels very well. They have a big German festival there every year.
The fucking biggest.
It's one of the funnest things I've ever been to.
It's amazing, right?
And they've got
Schlitterbahn.
Schlitterbahn's got the technology of Master Blaster was invented by the people at Schlitterbahn.
Yeah.
Schlitterbahn is a really fucking amazing water park.
So it's 2.5 hours from my family. I'm smack dab in the middle between Austin and San Antonio. So when we're on the road, man. We're fucking flying out.
Are you touring a lot right now?
Every week. That's how I make my money, man.
Dude, you know what? Someone said to me, man, you're really touring a lot. And I was like, yeah, this is what I do for a living.
You're right.
I'm always blown away when people are like, when you go on the road like almost every week, you're like,
yeah, that's what I do.
It's my job.
Right.
Like,
it's my job. Yeah.
Ari Shafir told me that. He's like, we're trying to do this grid to find out when we're available.
Right.
So we can do something. And so everyone put in their dates. And I'm asking to add dates. Like
right.
I get like June and July off. I take June and July off usually.
Right. I take the winter off. Usually like Thanksgiving, and then I try to stay home for Christmas parties so I can hunt and fish. I hunt and fish. So, I have my ranch and I hunt and I fish, and those are the months that I want time. So
wait, tell me about life in Texas.
It's fucking home, man. I love it.
You say ranch?
Dude.
Is that like? Do you have like land?
700 acres.
Are you serious?
And I hunt it, and we're managing it, so we're always hunting pigs, and I take my son with me, man. And
how old's your kid? 3?
He's 4.
4.
And it's just like, it's home. It's chill. Fucking parking spots are huge, right? Grocery store aisles are huge. People are fucking nice. Like as soon as I get into LA, I'm like, oh fuck, here we go,
dude.
Somebody's gonna be a dipshit. Somebody's gonna be a fucking dick.
I wonder how it weighs on your soul sometimes,
dude. Look, it fucks me up, man. And it's funny. I got to bring this up. Everywhere I go, they're like, you and Bert.
Yeah,
Steve, you and Bert are my favorite. Yeah, it was always you, like you and Bert. I'm like, well, why? And they're like, because you're fun with the staff. You treat us well.
Yeah,
and you always take care of us. And because I don't know about you, I worked at a comedy club, and I remember when the comics would come through town. I remember, and they'd be shitty, and I'd be like, "Why are you being a dick, dude? We're so happy to have you."
I worked the door at the Boston Comedy Club, and I remember comics would come up, park, throw me their keys, and make sure I don't get a ticket, and then I'd be like, "Hey, man, I'm a comic also. Like, I know that I'm working.
I'm going to do this."
Yeah, but like, just so you know, I wrote you down on the list. I got a list in my head. Right. All those bad motherfuckers go on the list.
Here, motherfucker.
Holy shit, man!
One thing comics have is a fucking memory.
It's crazy too because we both had big openers or headliners we worked with that kind of our relationship with them went sideways.
It's sad, man. Like
it's so fucking sad.
Like people don't understand when I tell them that I got Me Too'd. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I didn't get sexually abused. Yeah. I got like talent abused because I didn't know any better, man.
Yeah.
I was a kid. All I wanted to do was stand up. This comedian comes around, says he's going to help me. And I'm just like, this is the best shit ever happened to me. And then it turned out to be the worst thing that ever happened to me. But I think that I'm the comedian that I am today because of it. Yeah. The stage time. I learned how to be, how not to be.
It's interesting. I said one place, I learned more what not to do.
Yeah.
It's really, I almost want to say, I feel bad for the kids touring with me. I say kids are like, they're grown men, but but they're younger to me.
Right.
I feel bad for them because all they'll see not to do is like drink, and smoke weed. But like, I'm really a great guy to be around and I'm very generous.
I try to be too. Yeah.
But I learned those because maybe, Segura and I have been pretty open about it, but like our relationship with our headliner wasn't like a level playing field. It was, I'm the boss, you're my employee, don't ever forget that. If I need this, I'll take it. And it wasn't like, but what's crazy is, even still, like, I don't know if you feel this way, but like I have like a empty spot where I go, it sucks that we couldn't have just been friends.
Right.
Like,
No, it breaks my heart,
because there were great times. There were great times.
There was great times, and I love the dude. I mean, and it's funny because even to this day, I still catch shit from comics that are on our family, right? That are our I don't want to say level because we're all at different levels, but
we're all at the same level.
But we all came up at the same, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think we're all at the same level. We're all at the same. We've all been doing it the same amount of time. We're all as good. I think some people get other opportunities and get different opportunities and take different. Like I look at Ernst is living in Cleveland now,
right?
Happy as fuck. You're in Texas. I stayed here, but I only stayed here because it was like I had kids and I started my life here,
right?
And so I couldn't leave. When I wanted to leave, the girls were too old,
right? And they're like, "Wait a minute, we got shit going on here."
Yeah, and I was like, "Well, fuck, man." And but I think we're all at the same level. I don't think me, you, Steve Byrne, Brett Ernst, Mike Young,
Renazizi,
Caparillo, Ari, Joey, even like all of us are. Yeah. I think you see any of us do with comedy, you're gonna fucking love it.
It affected my relationships. Touring with Carlos Mencia, it affected my relationships with people like Rogan, because I admire the shit out of Rogan and people like that, where it affected my relationship with them. And I don't think people realize how young I was. I'm writing on the Mind of Mencia. I'm 22 years old.
Yeah.
Right? And I come into town writing for this guy who I didn't know everybody fucking hated.
Yeah.
Right? And then I get to the Comedy Store and everybody's like, "Oh, you're his dude? Yeah, we fucking hate him, so now we hate you." And it was like, I don't know what's going on. So, I look at it, I feel like I am the funniest I've ever been.
Yeah.
And we're selling tickets, and my life honestly could not be any better. Anything after this is fucking bonus.
I've always said that. I've always said, if you give me anything, like I keep saying, and this has been my motto. If I can increase my business by 10% every year, I'll be happy. When I did my first special came out, I said, I'm good right now. I'm moving some tickets. If I can, it was my second special, but it was like, first one that counted for Showtime. And I was like, if I can just get a little traction, and it didn't do anything originally, and then the machine store went viral, and I was like, and then it sold every show out, and I went,
that's what happened to me.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Shit.
Yeah, what was your bit that went?
The shopping. I did a shopping bit. I was the first one to do the video memes. I'm at 175 million views on that thing.
What's the video memes?
Where you put like, here's the punchline, and I put the lettering over the bit where I said, when your wife comes home from shopping. And it was a bit about my wife coming home, and she's like an auctioneer. I went over to Macy's, had 10% on it. I was 20%, right? And that thing went fucking viral.
Yeah.
And you have the same feel. But it was also, what's funny is everybody goes, "Well, I'll do that." Okay, but you're not good. No offense.
Yeah.
But Bert Kreischer did it. It fucking went viral because he's fucking good.
Yeah.
But you were also one of those guys that I used to watch on stage and go, how the fuck is this guy not fucking famous?
Dude, we all looked at each other. I
remember standing with Segura outside the fucking Melrose Improv, like we had leprosy, going, "When's it our turn?"
Yeah.
Like, when do we get fucking, because Segura's so fucking funny.
I just said that yesterday, today I was talking to my wife. My wife said, "I got this, I got to do this, I got to do this." And she was like, "Oh God, does it ever end?" And I said, yesterday I did 2 podcasts with Bill Burr, and then I did.
Then there's me. Sorry, folks.
No. And then I ran down and did a podcast with Brian Callen.
Right.
And then I came up to do a rap party at the bar next door, and I was so busy. And I thought on the ride, I said, "Man, there was a time," and you and I can definitely say this out loud. There was a time where we couldn't get noticed. Like, no one called. I had days where no one called my phone.
Dude, where I'm just going, how, well, and the thing was too, is like, like Jesus Trejo, who you love, like I love,
I love him.
I would tell Jesus, I'm like, he'd go, "Steve, it's coming. You're so good. It's coming. I see it." I go, "Yeah, Jesus." I go, "I know you see it." But the frustrating part is I know I'm good. I know I'm fucking funny. and still not get phone calls. Right? That's the
Yeah.
frustrating part, is to go, I know I'm fucking funny. I mean, fucking me and you working in Miami together.
That was one of the, I was going to bring that up.
Bro,
That
we're
was one of
fucking smashing. Both of us are getting on stage, and we're fucking
I was
having
bombing.
the first night.
No. The first night I
figured
did.
it out.
First night I did good. Thursday night I did great. Friday night I ate
But
two solid dicks
no, but
back
you
to back.
figured it out.
I'm telling you, Steve, it is the one point in my career where I was like, I will always say I never bombed harder than those two shows. That is, I remember.
I don't remember that. I
was still wearing a shirt on
like
stage, and I had sweat drip off my nose onto my shirt, and I heard the audience go, "Oh."
No, I remember. I remember just watching you going, "This guy's fucking hilarious."
Second show, first show Saturday. I remember I said I came in Saturday morning. I'm going to set the whole thing up. I'm going to set the whole, because this is, by the way, this is one of the more defining moments in my career. Leanne
really?
100%. Leanne was pregnant with Isla, and she had flown down to Miami, and was going to give birth. I think this must have been June or July that we did this. So it was the middle of summer.
Ago.
It was hot as fuck. It was 13 years ago, and so. God, 13 fucking years ago.
Isn't that crazy, dude? We were so happy just to be headlining.
I was so. By the way, I'll tell you everything, and even in saying it, I was so fucking happy. So I get booked to do Miami, and I tell Leanne, I said, "Why don't you fly down too?" She goes,
Miami.
"I'll fly down." Yeah, it's Miami. Fuck yeah. She goes, "I'll fly down Friday. You fly in Wednesday to do press," and then. And I got in Wednesday, and they're like, "No press tomorrow." And I was like, "What?"
Fuck.
I was like, "For real?" And they were like, "Yeah, no press." And I was like, "What about Thursday morning?" And they're like, or Friday, and they're like, "No press Friday." So I get to the club Thursday, and you're out front with DJ Cooch.
Yeah.
And you said,
well, I was working on a project down there for Pitbull, the rapper.
Yeah.
That's how I was there.
Pitbull came to the show.
Yeah, remember he came to the show.
Well, hold on. We'll get to the whole thing. Because you're out front, and I was like, "Oh, hey, man," I knew who you were, and I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And you're like, "Hey, man, I don't know if they've talked to you yet. It's a bad situation. I just want to make sure you're cool with it." And I go, "Cool with what?" And you're like, maybe I'll tell you just because maybe it's better to hear it from me.
Right.
But you go, "They've asked me to come in and co-headline with you, because you're having a hard time getting press, and I can get us press." And I went, "Okay." By the way. This is how happy I was about comedy at this time. I was like, anyone else would go, "You've been demoted." I was like, cool.
Fucking A, yeah. Well,
I'm doing
that's where I was in my life, right? Where it was like, you want me to do a show with Bert? Yeah. I don't care.
I was like, great. That's awesome, man.
You can put me with whoever the fuck. I'm just happy to be here.
And you're like, my buddy DJ Cooch is here. He's going to host. Ricky Cruz is going to MC, and then we'll co-headline. And I was like, okay. And so we did that first show Thursday, and it was fucking great. It was fun as shit. My wife was there with her friend, had come down. And they were both there, and we had a great time. We had beers afterwards.
It was awesome.
And then we woke up, and you brought me in to do radio, and you introduced me to Paul Castronova.
Yeah.
Who I am good friends with to this
awesome,
day.
Aren't they, dude?
Dude, Paul and Young Ron was like the biggest show in Miami.
Huge. It's still big without,
big,
but not like then. I mean,
but then it was like, you did well on this show. You sold tickets. We went in, we murdered.
We did great.
And they said to me, "You're hilarious, man, whenever you want to come in." And I was like,
well, to this day, they still bring up that.
Yeah.
Me and you going in there. Because me and you went in there, started just busting balls.
The fucking wheels were off.
And we were just fucking everybody up. And then they were like, I don't even think they talked.
It was me and you, because we had partied the night before. I want to say we brought beers in or something. We were just going back and forth, having a blast. Murdering. And then I remember you dipped out and did the Spanish speaking station.
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember thinking, get me on the road with this guy. We could double our fucking numbers. You do Spanish speaking, I do English. And so I met Paul and Young Ron that night.
Right.
I think we then went and did, we might have done DJ Laz.
Yeah. I've known Laz forever.
Yeah. We did DJ Laz. You introduced me to DJ Laz. That weekend with you got me in at Miami, whereas I could play there. I could play there, West Palm, and Fort. That's 3 fucking clubs. This is what people need to understand is that I went from I had filled in a Fallout weekend. It was $900 to do the weekend is what I was getting paid. I was driving down from San Vicente.
Which, by the way, isn't it great when young comics are like, "You're headlining?
Yeah.
Oh, you're so lucky." And
Yeah,
you're like, "I'm not gonna tell you what the fuck I'm making." By the way,
Erin called me on San Vicente and she was like, "Have a Fallout weekend in Miami. It's this weekend. Can you make it?" And I was like, "Done.
Let's go."
Booked a flight, expensive flight, flew down. But that one weekend with you got me so much work for the rest of my life.
It was funny because you brought it up on Rogan's podcast and you brought my name up, and then of course, Rogan, he's the freaking god now, right? So just somebody says your name on the Rogan podcast and you're a thing, right?
Yeah.
So I got all these messages like, check this out, and I was laughing, but I was also, to be completely honest, I was really frustrated because you're like, "Oh, Treviño killed," and then Rogan's like, "Oh, in Miami, of course he did." Like it had a Latin thing to do with it, and it's like, well,
first of all, you were killing.
How about I'm just funny? How about
no, you're just funny, but you really did. I mean, like I'm gonna tell the whole story because there is a part of that does ring true. So we go to press, we come back. I'm like, this is gonna be fucking awesome. I remember the crowd was sold out, and we sold out the whole fucking weekend.
Great, man.
So fucking hot. I want to say Pitbull was at that Friday show.
Yeah, Pitbull came out, which, by the way, still friends to this day. And I just signed with his management. So really? I switched managements to get on Pitbull's team.
Yeah, and we did that first show. And I remember knowing I was in a hole when they were like, "Hey." And by the way, this is, I think, what Rogan's speaking to, is they were like, "We got a great show this weekend. We got DJ Cool,
Raza,
Ricky Cruz,
Raza,
Steve Treviño,
Mexicano,
and Bert Kreischer." It was such a fucking stop in the sentence.
The fucking record, like old school.
Do you remember me telling you? I go,
I remember you being scared, and I'm like, "Bert."
I go, dude.
And then, by the way, Thursday you annihilated.
Thursday I did fine. No. Friday, I'm like, I'm fine. Friday first show, I bombed so fucking bad. So bad that I got off and I go, "Steve, I feel like they think I took a Latino's job." Like and you were like, no, you're fine. And I said, "No, Steve, I don't feel, man, I feel like they fucking dislike me." You go, "Dude, everyone's got bad shows. You'll bounce back." We did the second show and I bombed even harder. There was a Dominican guy. There was a Dominican guy in the front row.
And with his chick, was it that one?
And he was doing this with like he was hitting something in his hand. And I said, "What's that?" And he goes, "I'm gonna beat you with that baseball bat." And I go, "Oh, you must be Dominican," as a joke, right? Nothing. And I got off and I was like, I walked back. It was raining that night. I walked back in the rain. Leanne had stayed in the hotel. She was like, "How did it go?" And I was like,
"Did you have to add that you walked back in the rain?" I walked back in the rain.
It was so
You just
bad.
picture Bert with his shirt off, right, dude?
It was so bad. And so
I don't remember you not killing. Man.
So Friday I show up and I got into the green room. I go, "Steve, we got to switch it up, man." I go, "I can't follow you. You were murdering so fucking hard." And I go, "I can't follow you." And you're like, "Listen, it's your weekend. I can't. This is your weekend. I'm just here to help." And you're like, "What do you want me to do? Do you want me to like pump the brakes? Do you want me to make it shorter?" I go, "Can you just bring me up and like say it's okay that this white guy's here?"
I do remember that. I do remember you going, "Just change the intro."
I go, "Just be like, hey, he's my friend. I hope you guys enjoy him." And you did that. And I got up that first show Friday and the first joke went fine, but then it started going downhill. And I said, "Fuck it." I remember we had talked so intensely about me bombing, and you're like, and I remember you going, "Man, you're married to your material. Like you're just doing this material." And I go, "Because I'm bombing. I don't have anything to say." And you're like, "Stop with the material. Like just go into do the shit you did Thursday." I go, "Yeah, I was having fun Thursday." You're like, "You're not having fun up there." I was like, "Steve, I'm sweating through my fucking shirt."
But I feel like that was the weekend you started taking your shirt off.
I took my shirt off. I had done that before, but I took I got on stage Friday's early show, and when it started going downhill, I was like, "They're gonna see sweat in the shirt, and they'll know I bombed." I ripped my shirt off, and I went and I said, I remember I was like, "All right, fuck it." I go, "Where's the blackest motherfucker in here?" And everyone's like, "What?" I go, "Give me like the most thugged out gold fronts,
right.
shoes and socks on his car. I want that guy." And it's funny, the guy was like right in that middle chunk where there only sat 30 people.
30 people, and there was fucking 500 over there and 500 over here.
He goes, "Right here, man." And I go, "Come on stage." He goes, "What?" I go, "I'm buying drinks for you. Come on stage." He got on stage. I got stools and I go, give me the most Cuban guy in the world. I want the most Cuban guy, just barely speaks English. And so I get that guy.
Right.
And the three of us, I said, listen, man, I don't relate to your people. So I'm going to tell a joke. And will you please translate it?
Yeah.
So I
remember that.
I got the mic. I go, I'm shirtless on stage. I go, we each have a shot of tequila. I go, I was talking to this young lady and I hand it to the black guy. I go, man, I'm hollering at this hoe. And then the Cuban guy just goes, he goes, did some fucking whistle, mommy, or something, and the fucking place went nuts.
Fucking lost.
I got off that night, and you're like, that's what I'm talking. And I did that the rest of the week, and I just fucked around on stage.
I talk to young comics about that all the time. Like, sometimes we, like Jesus, for example, and I'm just using him because we both know him. We both work with him. We both love him. He's the sweetest guy in the world. He's probably one of the most naturally talented people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about somebody that you're in a room, you're eating breakfast with the guy, and he's fucking annihilating comics. I mean, we're all dying, but, they forget to be talented. Like, just be talented. Yeah. Just be fucking good, man. You're fucking good. Be good.
Yeah.
And I think that both of us in every comic, sometimes we forget. We get into our material so much that we forget, like, man, fuck, I'm good at this shit.
I can say things quick and funny. Like, right. I don't have to rely on material. I can go up there and just
be Bert.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was like one of the greatest weekends. I was saying to someone today, I did an article for Vulture about deaf translators. American Sign Language translators.
Oh, I've had those on stage before, yeah.
And I got in trouble the very first time I ever had when I was like brand new in the business. And I did a college at Northeastern, and I got in trouble because all I did was like, how do you say suck dick? How do you say fucker in the ass?
It's the best.
Yeah. And so, and I got in a lot of trouble. The lady wrote a letter, and I never did colleges after that because of that. Like,
which, by the way, what a blessing.
I in hindsight, but when you have one kid, you're like, great. I just need to work.
Right, I need jobs.
And all of a sudden I do no colleges because of it.
Right.
But it was funny. I was saying this we're talking to the journalist. I was saying, everyone's so conditioned to not want their comics to apologize. But as comics, we've made so many mistakes. I've made so many mistakes,
God,
that you learn from, and you go, it's okay to be like. It's okay for me to look back and go, I was kind of a shitty thing I did to that lady where I made it look like the Invisible Man was running a train on her on stage where she's just sucking dicks and eating assholes. And she's at work. I go, it's okay to learn from that.
And she had to do it.
She had to do it because it's her fucking job. She's like, I don't want to suck black cocks on stage. Like, I don't want to sound racist. Like, she's like,
look, I always tell people, I started talking about my wife and my family on stage because when I met my wife now, I fell in love with her. And I fucking hated her for it. Like, I truly hated her for making me fall in love with her.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, life was fucking great. I'm crushing pussy. I'm a fucking pirate, man. I'm traveling the country.
Yeah.
Making a whopping $900 a week, telling dick jokes. Like, fucking life is awesome. Then you come.
Yeah.
So then I started talking to her about her on stage, and I did an album then. And I listened to that album, and I'm like, what a fucking shit. There's so much anger and hate in it.
Yeah.
That if I listen to it now, I cringe because I'm like, God dang, Steve, what the fuck's wrong with you?
And people aren't willing to and now that's just self-growth we're talking about.
Right.
No one's gonna cancel culture you or light you up for that album.
I would hope so, right?
Yeah. And so, but you look at like stuff Kevin Hart tweeted 10 years ago and you go, I've said a lot of irresponsible things.
Dumb shit.
Right. But more importantly, to put that side language thing to the side, it's those failures of you bombing and fucking up, and that you grow so much as a comic. That weekend, I grew so much as a comic where I went, that'll never happen again. I can always have fun.
I remember meeting you. I have a hard time in LA. With other, I don't know how to make friends with other comics. Like, I don't know how to, it's weird. I have my crew. I have my homies from back home.
Yeah.
We're still friends to this day. I vacation with my friends. I don't vacation with other comics. You know what I mean? So I remember meeting you and going, there's other dudes like me. Like, Bert is like a dude. He's just a fucking guy who happens to have this talent, who you weren't Hollywood. You weren't.
I always say, I never know who is who. And so I never know like a casting director is in the bar, or I never know if someone's a producer or a director.
Yeah, I have no fucking clue.
I'm not that guy. I've never been able to figure that out.
But it's like this podcast, right? Where my agent calls me and he goes, "You know Bert, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know Bert." And he's like, "Well, call him, get on his podcast." And I'm like, I'm not that guy, man. Like,
I'm not that guy either. I have a hard time asking for things.
It's just weird to me that, hey, Bert, put me on, and it's like,
oh, but that's so funny because you say you're not that guy. I'm not that guy, but I have no problem with you calling me saying, "Hey, man, I'm in town. Can I get on your podcast?"
I do remember, I forget where I was. Again, like everywhere I go, it's like you and Bert, which, by the way, I have been mistaken for you.
For real?
I've had guys come up to me and go, "What the fuck? You didn't take off your shirt." And I'm like, "Oh, dude, you came to the wrong show, buddy. You're thinking of Bert Kreischer, right?" But literally, they'll come up to me like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, first of all, he's 6 foot. I'm 5'4". There's a big fucking difference. But everywhere I would go, it was like you and Bert. I remember calling you one night. I'm out with the staff because my thing
were you in Dayton at the time?
It might have been Dayton somewhere.
Somewhere I remember that you called.
And I'm like, "Hey, motherfucker, I'm tired of hearing your name,
yeah, dude.
I want to be the fucking king of the staff."
We had very similar approaches in stand up, and it was so funny. I was talking to Steve Byrne one day about it because we toured in like 2006 or 7, and I said to Steve, we got done a show and he went back to the hotel and got on the gym. He got on the treadmill, and I got back that night and he was getting out of the gym. I go, "I'm hammered."
Right, I'm shithouse.
I go, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he was like, "Working out." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I was watching a documentary working out." And I was like, "Oh." I was like, "I totally got you for a different guy." He goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "I thought you liked to party." He goes, "Oh, I love partying." I said, "Well, why didn't you hang out with us?" He was like, "And went hang out with the staff?" I go, Yeah. He goes, "What do you mean? Like, would you just party with them?" And I was like, yeah. And I said, "Steve,
have laughs."
I go, the next weekend we were in Minneapolis. I go, "Trust me. Just trust me." We were in Chicago. And I used to do.
Because I have 2 moves. I have I'm staying in the comedy club. We're all going to fucking party move.
Yep, that's me. Yep.
And then I also have hey, crowd, I'm going to this fucking bar.
Yep.
Let's do it.
That's still me.
Right?
By the way.
I mean, but now, and it's hard because now it's gotten a lot harder. It's gotten a lot harder to go, "Hey, we're going to a bar."
You don't have to tell me that.
Because then it causes a fucking thing. So now I'm mainly "Hey, let's have drinks at the comedy club," where I'm safe, where, and I travel with my wife a lot, and my wife likes to have drinks. And if she calls it the circus, she's like, "Don't do the circus tonight."
Yeah.
Right? She's like, "Don't." Because she knows if I go on stage and go, "We're all fucking going to fucking Sure Shots."
Yeah. Sure Shots, that's Dayton.
Yeah, Dayton. I'll kill that. By the way,
I've been to Sure Shots.
That's one of my favorite bars.
I got a Sure Shots sweatshirt. That's so fucking funny. That's the second time we talked about Sure Shots in a week.
No shit. Who else?
Yeah, Moshe Kasher. Yeah,
Moshe Kasher.
Greg Giraldo used to love Sure Shots.
Fuck, I love it, dude.
Greg Giraldo used to love Sure Shots. We bonded over Sure Shots.
Dude, I've seen fights in that place.
They have hot dogs. They give you free hot dogs.
Free fucking
hot dogs at Sure Shots.
Dude, what does it say in the
I walked in one time and it's just a hot dog bar.
Yeah.
Plus, and they're fucking like a hot dog and they're free. You get them as many as you want.
Just grab them.
It's the fucking, I love Sure Shots. In the
urinal it says, watch what you put in this urinal because the same hands that clean it are also serving you beer. Like, that's the kind of bar. It's the fucking best, dude.
I love, by the way.
And I'll make them put hot dogs. I'm like, "Yeah, hey, what's up with the fucking hot dog ring here?
Hey, guys, you guys are running low on hot dogs."
Yeah,
like, all right.
Get it rolling, buddy.
Bro, Sure Shots, there are a lot of really great after hours bars. In Columbus, I always end up upstairs at Bar Louie.
Me too. Bar Louie, yep.
Same with when they had the old Cincinnati Funny Bone. Or maybe they still have it, I just haven't been in a while. I only go to the...
Yeah, well, no, I loved it. That one across the street was the German bar.
Yeah, that was a great German bar.
Great fucking
big
bar,
fucking
dude.
Pretzels. There's nothing like a big
picnic tables.
That's a great fucking bar.
Love going to that bar. But for me, I think there's something special, and I think me and you have the same thing where I'm partying with the staff, but I'm not trying to fuck them.
Oh no, never.
Because I got a wife, and my thing is
there have been a few chicks though that I know you probably feel the same way I do, where you obviously you'd never cheat on your wife, but there are always a few chicks that you connect with, and you go, if I was a dog, that would be the one.
Yeah, you're cool as fuck.
I've had it. Yeah. You're a cool fucking chick.
And you're also giving me the fucking, hey.
Oh, there was one girl in Dayton that I really loved. I mean, I really enjoyed her.
Well, no,
she was fun to hang out with, and she was goofy. I'm trying to think.
But there's also something special about these girls that are living in Dayton that are working their asses off, right? All they want to do is fucking work and go have a drink.
Yeah.
They're not like, I'm moving to LA, I'm going to be fucking famous.
They're just they're just regular
chicks.
People. Yeah. But it's funny, you always get those ones, you always get the few chicks where you just go, oh, it's good to see her again.
Yeah. I'm glad to see you.
Yeah.
And you throw them a couple extra bones, right? You're like, you know what? Fucking.
I remember trying to convince one of them. One chick, I was like, you should get pregnant and sell that baby to gay guys.
Come on.
She was like, I have debt. Can I do that? And I was like,
and then one of the things I do, and I didn't know that you did this, is I love to gamble. I know where every fucking casino is in the country, right?
Yeah.
I'm at fucking Punchline in Philly. I'm walking to fucking Sugar Shack, right? But I love to gamble, so what I do is I'll take a stack of merch money and I put it at the end of the night, and I'll put it on the stool, and I'll be like, all right, everybody gets a guess. Price is Right rules. Somebody's walking away with this money.
Yeah.
Guess how much it is. And the staff's like, Bert does shit like that. And I'm like, the fuck?
Oh, yeah. I will. Mine was always derived at the fear that I didn't deserve to be headlining. Like, I always felt like, what I would do, I remember one time I did Chicago and Tony Baldino said, when you say you're drinking at the bar, I make like an extra $3,000. I'm just telling you.
Right.
Just telling you.
That he's told me the same thing.
Yeah. He goes, I'm just telling you, if I make an extra $3,000 throughout the night, then, maybe I can throw you some bonuses.
Right.
And I was like, oh.
Fucking on it.
In my head, I was like, done.
Yeah.
Every night. And so then what I did, I started doing, and this has got to be 2000, probably 4 or 5, right when I worked with you, is I would tell the audience, hey, I'm going to go to the bar and drink. I also have set up a game. So like one time we held beers in like the Kreischer pose, and the last one to drop them got the pot. And so it was awesome. Like 20 guys. Steve Byrne filmed it, and we all stood with beers, and I beat the fucking guy. I beat
Muscles,
this kid.
You beat fucking Muscles over there.
Yeah, the one kid. Dude, we had a professional bodybuilder fall out.
I've had beers in my hand my whole fucking life. Believe me.
I would set up obstacle courses like with like a trick shot where we would throw the football from across the room into the thing, and it was like $1. It was $5 to buy in, and then $1 rebuys, and you get like a pot of like $350.
Everybody's going fucking.
Everyone's doing it, and it's fun. Everyone's drinking. Everyone's having fun. They're like, take a break. We'll do it again at 5. And so that's what I did, and then I started doing the waitstaff raffle but it was, for me, it was like, it was always derived off of like boredom and just wanting to have fun, and then I think ultimately the bar stuff was because I felt like if I made the club more money,
I felt the same way.
Then I knew I'd come back. I get to come back.
And you said a beautiful thing, man, where I think there's two kinds of comics, right? There's the comics that walk on stage and go, you're all lucky that I'm on this stage right now.
Yeah.
And then there's comics like me and you.
His name's Anthony Jesselman.
yeah, fucking cocksucker. I can slow my jokes down too. But there's.
I love you, Anthony.
I do too. I think he's great. But you got two guys like me, where I walk on stage and I go, I'm so lucky to be here.
Yeah.
And in the beginning,
I've always felt that way.
When I would tip one waitress with a game, it was my way of going, I got $100 and I'm going to give it to somebody. I don't have a lot of money. So this is my way of giving to the staff.
Yeah.
I mean, now I fucking, I'm making money now, so I can, hook people up and I take care of everybody. But back then it was also kind of my way to go, look, I love you guys. Because I remember Cheryl Underwood would leave our club in Addison, and at the end of the week, we'd all get $200 because she would leave fucking 2 G's behind.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, that changed my life at that time, right? So I always try to do something. It's funny that everybody goes, oh, you and Bert. And I'm like, but like I said, when I met you in Miami, it was one of those things where I was like, dude, this guy, and I mean, look, I don't know how to play the game. And when people tell me, hey, play the game, I go, you're suspect to me. You're already fucking suspect. When you tell me, hey, Steve, I play the game, well, are you playing me? So it was always Hollywood was very difficult for me. It was very, very hard.
I think that's why I've always done better on the road.
I wanted my name on the Comedy Store wall so badly. I got it. I wanted to know that I could compete with the best. I followed the Chris Rocks and the Dave Chappelles and the Andrew Dice Clays, and I did well. And I wanted to know that I could compete. And then I always told myself, once I make enough money that I can afford to come back. So, my goal was, if I get a phone call on Monday and my agent says, you have to be here on Tuesday, can I afford to do that? And as soon as I can get to that point, I'm gone. And I've noticed, I've had more opportunities now. But I also feel like, and I don't know how you feel, but my stand-up is so down to earth and so real and so honest that I have to be around regular motherfuckers to create.
I'm not the kind of person that can sit behind a notepad and jot down an hour and be like, this is my new act. I've got to live a life in order to write.
Right. Well, I mean, you look at Rogan and the shit that he comes up with, because he's so fucking hungry for knowledge, right? That the dude's always taking fucking knowledge. He'll write an hour. He doesn't need anything else but his fucking brain.
Yeah.
And whatever he's reading, or
he would argue that we should be doing the same things, and still the stuff that we live would even be better. And I can't disagree with that.
I would agree.
But it's everyone's got their way to peel an orange, and so. But
it's like, I heard this bit that Rogan did the other day. Randomly, like on one of those, I'm listening to the radio, and they're like 5 o'clock funny, fucking Rogan. And I remember listening to this bit. I'm like, God damn, dude, like it's a fucking great bit. Who else is talking about monkeys getting currency? Like, what the fuck is this guy?
By the way, that's right up his alley.
You know what I mean? But
knowing him, that's like so his passions, monkeys and cryptocurrency.
But same with Bill Burr, right? You watch Bill Burr, and Bill Burr can live in a box, and he observes and watches, and I have to live next to average motherfuckers. I mean, my dad was a pipe fitter welder.
Yeah,
I grew up in a town of 3,000 people. I mean, I'm probably the only comic that wears cowboy boots.
Yeah.
It's fucking me and Jeff Foxworthy.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Ronnie Carrington.
Yeah, probably.
But I found that
I stopped wearing I used to wear boots, but not cowboy boots, just boots like
Timberlands or
no,
like Red Wings.
They're called engineer boots. It's almost like if you want to look it up, it's called oddly enough, I think it's called the Rogan Engineer. Randomly, has no connection, but it's by Fry. It's a good looking boot,
right?
But I used to wear them on stage. I wore Blundstones before that, and then my wife bought me these, and I liked it, and then I remember Rogan was like, "You wear boots on stage?" And I was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "What if someone tried to attack you?" And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Do you think you could get away from them?" And I was like, "No, I'd be slipping all over the place.
I could kick the shit out of them."
And I started wearing sneakers because I was on stage
paranoid. Going like, attack me.
I would feel my feet slipping on stage, and I go, "God damn it, man, I am not stable." And then I got plantar fasciitis in Atlanta, and I had to wear sneakers for the first time on stage. Like I had to.
Right.
And I was like, whoa, this is so much more comfortable.
For you.
Yeah, so now I'm a little bit of a sneakerhead.
And what's funny is I was thinking about you because we scheduled this, 2 weeks ago or whatever, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then you had to cancel. Congratulations, by the way. It hit the news.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Very proud of you. And it's weird to say that. Like,
oh, thank you.
I'm proud. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know.
And I'm proud of all my friends. I mean, Tom Segura. I'm so proud of Tom. I mean, Tom and I and Christina were paired up to help this Orange County housewife, Slade, do stand-up. And that's how me and Tom spent a lot of time helping that dude out. But anyway,
yeah,
I was thinking about you because I'm at Hakkasan, the nightclub in Vegas.
Uh-huh.
I'm headlining Jimmy Kimmel's, and then every Friday night I treat everybody to bottle service at Hakkasan, the nightclub. And at 1:20 in the morning, the headlining DJ comes out, right? And it was Steve Aoki. I don't know if you know who that is, but
yeah.
I mean, the guy's got to be our age. And I'm thinking to myself, how the fuck does this dude at 1:20 a.m. or 1 o'clock in the morning or 12:30 at night wake up and go, all right, time to turn it on.
Yeah.
Right. And I thought about you. I'm like, how does Bert be the machine, take off the shirt every fucking night?
Well, you talk about inviting people to bars. I'm doing 2 shows in a 3,700 seat venue.
Right.
And telling people the bar I'm going to.
Crushing.
You want to talk about fucking
circus
packed.
Yeah.
Like And my wife does not understand it, but for some reason, I still feel like I'm ripping people off if I don't give them everything I got while I'm in their town.
I agree.
And I feel like if I don't, but I think it's more like.
So here's my question. So you went from selling out clubs.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you go from selling out clubs to does it like I'm selling out clubs.
What are your ticket
I
prices?
just can't imagine 25, 30.
You got to go 35.
Fuck.
35 is like, it's interesting. I had a very big attachment to keeping my ticket prices low.
I'm the same way.
As Ari did. Ari is still that way. He won't sell a ticket over $20
because I want the average motherfucker to be able to come to the show.
Well, what happens is all your tickets get scooped up. They're selling them on third market party venues.
Which is already I've seen that.
Which
it's already
I'm sure you've noticed happens as you go in, you put tickets on sale in Philly, and immediately early Saturday, early Friday are gone.
Yeah.
And you're like, nice, I'm doing well. And then you don't realize that, and I don't mean to be shitty.
Somebody else is selling those fucking tickets.
Sometimes it's the people that work at the club. And they know that your tickets are going to sell out, and those shows will sell out.
They buy 10.
Their boyfriend calls in. They take their boyfriend's credit card and they buy 10 tickets, best seats, and then they resell them.
Right.
And so that was what I went back when I was getting ready to do my hour, and I had a real problem with that, with clubs, because there were some clubs that I knew that was the issue.
Well, what would really bother me is when I would have a fan come up to me and go, "What the fuck? I paid $45 for your show,
$175 for these tickets," and you're like, "Wait, what?"
And like, why did you do that?
And so what you do then is what I found is if you increase your ticket price, it stops that.
Right.
So like $35 wasn't $20 was super easy for someone to wrap their head around. Let's buy 10 tickets,
20 of them, or whatever the fuck.
$200.
Right.
And it sounds crazy, but when you bump your ticket price up to 35, it's
more risk.
It just stopped.
It's more risk.
And by the way, you don't sell tickets. You don't sell out as quickly. $35 ticket was for me a real. By the way, I know this is really inside baseball, but I do find this fascinating about the business, and I hope you do too, people listening. It was a real risk because you go from selling out the weekend clean, and you get a call 2 weeks before, and they're like, they want to add a Thursday show, and you're like, do it. They want to add a Sunday show, or I stopped doing Sundays, so they're like, they want to add a third show Friday. You're like, do it.
Right.
They want to add a third show Saturday. You're like, do it. And you do all those shows, and I was like, Dad, I don't mind working more to give out the better product,
right?
And at the lowest price. Then you go to $35 tickets, and they're like, you're light on Thursday,
right?
You're like, wait,
but you're still making the same money.
You're making more money, way more money,
right?
You're almost making double the money now, and especially if you have a percentage, you're literally making double the money practically.
Well, what I love, and I think you're probably doing the same. We're getting into inside baseball, but
I love this conversation,
dude. I love when the fan gets dressed up, and it's their night out, right? And I've noticed that the more expensive tickets, because we do like a $35 front row, whatever the fuck, dude, they're so happy to be there. Dude, and it's their fucking weekend. It's their night out.
You got to look at this.
And I just don't know how I jump from, like right now in Chicago, I sell everything out, right? Yeah. And you know the Chicago Improv. Yeah. I will sell out every show.
It's a big room.
It's a big room. I'll sell it out every show. We'll add a show, right? Last time I was there, we added a show. But I'm like, how the fuck do I go from 2,200 seats in an entire week to 3,700 in one fucking night?
Or 7,000 in a night.
Right. That's my thing.
I'm doing 5,000 in New York.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in a meeting with UTA today, and they're like, we're going to, in 2 years, we're going to do this. And I'm like,
man, I got to be really honest. Right. I was so hesitant to listen to anyone. And Nick Nuciforo and Heidi Feingen and Judy Marmel.
I love that
Those
woman.
three people. I'm excluding Reg, but I think Reg was in the same. Reg is my manager. One of my managers, Reg and I were in the same place. They told me, they were like, it's time to move to theaters. I think, and Segura had said to me, when you're adding shows at $35 a ticket, that's when you need to go to theaters. I went, really? Right. He went, yeah. And so.
Well, and Segura's another one that came out of nowhere.
Segura was, like, by the way, we bust each other's balls a lot, and I think everyone knows how close we are, but like, if I didn't have Segura to kind of help talk me through it, I don't know. I would have been lost.
Bro, but Tom's a sweetheart, man. And Tom is another guy.
Great guy.
that didn't play the fucking game. The first time I saw him, we're co-headlining for that Orange County thing. I remember watching him going, this guy's fucking hilarious. Because it's very rare. Dude, it's very rare that I watch a comedian and go, that dude's fucking funny.
Yeah.
Very rare.
Yeah.
I saw it with Billy Gardell.
Oh, fucking Billy Gardell is a fucking. I had to follow him on the Jameson Irish Comedy Tour.
That's the tour I saw him on, God. And I was like, "This guy's a fucking monster,
dude." He was one of the guys that if he wanted to put it on you, you couldn't rebound.
And he's fat,
yeah,
and you still can't rebound.
Bro,
that guy. I remember watching that tour and going, where the fuck did this guy come from?
Dude, he was
smasher. I mean, fucking hammer down. Because I think you guys did 30 minutes each, something like that, on that tour.
I think we did 20 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. I think they did 20. I did 30. I only did 30 because I was getting the check spot, and so I think I'm not certain, but Billy Gardell was. I remember one time he was like, it was the first time we worked together. We were in Cincinnati, and he was like, he called me into the green room smoking a cigarette, and he was like,
just blasting cigs, dude.
Blasting cigarettes, had a whiskey, and he was like, I'm not following that Yosemite Sam shit. And I said, what? And he goes, to take the shirt off, the fucking all the stuff you do. I'm not following that. I'm not here to fucking prove anything. I'm here to get paid and work. So I'm gonna go in front of you, and I'll pump the brakes a little bit, and you'll be fine. And I was like, okay. In my head, I was like, I can follow anybody. I remember thinking that. He murdered so hard that first show Thursday, so hard, and I went up and I was like, oh wow, I was like, okay, I'm back at square one. I gotta figure this out.
But what's hard about that is that none of you guys were famous.
None of us were.
So when you're getting hammered by somebody, I remember Joe Coy did that to me. We weren't famous at the Laugh Factory. Joe Coy walks on stage, fucking annihilates, and I eat it. But when they're famous, it's easier.
Yeah,
because you're like, come on, guys, Dave Chappelle, right? What the fuck?
Yeah. How
great was that, huh? I'm not him, so let's go.
Yeah.
But when somebody that's
Billy Gardell, he put, if I'm not mistaken, I think Thursday I followed him fine, and I got cocky. And that early show Friday, he didn't pump the brakes at all.
Just fucking.
And I had a hard time following him. In the late show Friday, I think I got naked on stage, and I had a boot over my dick. And Billy brought up shots for everyone. I had a girl sing. I had a girl singing. I mean, this is like, I mean, I really wish I could go back to this guy that I was, where the chaos was what inspired me.
Right.
Like, I loved it. And I think my stand-up was probably worse, but it was so much fuck. It was like, I never thought about what I was going to do on stage. I just let it happen.
Yeah, that's how I was.
And
well, it was a party. When I walked on stage, it was a fucking party.
I've always felt that way. I've always felt like if the second I get on stage, it should be a party.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to the theaters thing, if they're telling you we'll get you there in 2 years, just do what they say, and they will. But
I've self-produced every special that I've ever done.
Oh, I'd stop doing that, and then fucking let Netflix do one for you, or let
I'd
Amazon.
love to if I got the offer.
But just they'll get you one.
I'm Mexican. We don't get offers, dude.
Self-producing.
You mind handing me a tissue real quick?
This podcast is brought to you by Blue Apron. As you know, I and my whole family are huge fans of Blue Apron. I do believe that a family that eats dinner together and talks stays tighter. And I swear to God, I've got good, wholesome daughters because of Blue Apron. I firmly believe that. Now I've got healthy daughters, because healthy can be delicious. Blue Apron told me so with their new health-conscious menus featuring a range of ready-to-cook meals with lean proteins, whole grains, minimal dairy, and flavor-packed produce. The new year is looking bright, and I'm in a weight loss challenge with Joe Rogan, Tom Segura, and Ari Shaffir, and I am looking good. Not on camera right now. My beard looks a little thick. Discover the balance with weekly recipes that range from grain bowls to curries to salads to stir fry. The beginning of the new year is a great time to reevaluate your lifestyle and your eating habits. Blue Apron believes healthy lifestyles start with a balanced relationship with food, knowing exactly what goes into each meal. And that is beautiful because you zest it, you chop it, you sear it, you season it, you plate it, all from the comfort of your own home. These are chef-designed, ready-to-cook meals, perfectly portioned, inexpensive, meaning no meal is going to cost more than $10 per person. Forget it looking at all the food on social media. Now, we're taking time to plate my meals and really enjoy it. Come on in, Leanne. I'm talking about Blue Apron. How much do I love Blue Apron? There we go. That's a thriving endorsement. And I remember why I love to cook. Blue Apron has exposed me to delicious recipes and cooking techniques like fond. I love fond. Blue Apron's chef design recipes includes amazing specialty sauces, premium ingredient blends that would otherwise be difficult, expensive, or way too time-consuming to make. Create healthy mealtime routines that work for you in 2020. Check out this week's menu and get $60 off when you visit blueapron.com/Bertcast. That's blueapron.com/Bertcast. Blue Apron, feed your soul. I love it. I love it. And I love this spinach white bean pasta. Looks fucking awesome. Holy crap. Fig and goat cheese Beyond Burger. I can't wait to get that one. Spicy salmon, coconut vegetable curry, Blue Apron. Feed your soul. This episode of the Bertcast is brought to you by Whoop. Whoop is a longtime partner and the driving force behind Sober October with my buddies, Joe Rogan, Tom Segura, Ari Shafir. And to kick off 2020, we're all taking on a new weight loss challenge. Going on different diets, drinking tons of water is my plan, saunas, hot spin, different exercises. We want to see what kind of results we can get by the end of February. If you just woke up and you weren't following along, when I wore Whoop 24/7 to understand my impact of the no booze, no bud, no nothing lifestyle and that had Sober October, the tracker changed my relationship with my body. It measures things like resting heart rate variable, and sleep. The mountain of data is then analyzed by their algorithms that then pluck out the most important factors to help you change your daily behavior. You feel better when you sleep more. That's a no-brainer. But when you don't get enough sleep, your brain just doesn't work the right way. It tricks you into thinking that you don't have enough energy for your day, and it tells you you're hungry. By the way, that's why I've been eating all day, because I slept like shit last night, and my brain has been telling me I'm hungry. I just had Taco Bell. Less sleep leads to more eating. I'm not saying I'm going to stay in bed until March, but sleep for me is just as important as hitting the gym. Whoop is the best tool out there to help you get better sleep, and it even has a sleep coach which will recommend the sleep you need to feel your best for the next day. If you want to do better, if you want to be better, if you want to just keep up with me and lose weight to kick off with 2020, get over to whoop.com right now and use the promo code BERT at checkout for 15% off your membership today. I don't know what's going on with specials anymore. Like because Ari's self-producing his, and he's shooting it in like a month, I think.
Right.
And I like Joe Coy self-produced his, sold it to Netflix, and I think it blew him up.
That's the one that blew him up.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I was just telling Joe, my agent, today. I go, Bert does this, and then Bert's selling out comedy clubs. 2 years later, I'm selling out comedy clubs. Bert goes to theaters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same with Joe Coy. I think Joe Coy's on
a
path.
different level than all of us right now.
You know, well, and
dude,
he's
doing the Coca-Cola arena.
Yeah, it's just stupid.
Tom's at a different level way different level than me. Tom's doing 10,000 tickets a night in Denver.
Yeah, I was laughing because I was listening to you and Tom, and all of a sudden you guys start talking about tour buses. I'm like, look at these fucking assholes.
Bill said that to me one time.
Look at these fucking dicks, dude.
We were talking about tour buses in the hallway of the Comedy Store. And Bill just goes, stop. Everyone stop. It's like four of us talking about tour. He goes, where the fuck has comedy gotten that we're all sitting in the hallway talking about our tour buses?
Yeah, dude. But I'm sitting there watching you guys, and I'm like, fuck both of you.
Tour bus is the best thing I ever did.
Yeah, I want to do that.
It's the greatest thing I ever did. I'll never not have a
I want to
tour
do
bus.
that so I can keep my family around. You know, I travel with my wife and my son as much as possible.
Dude, you would
love it. Just chill, man. And I'm the type, and I think every comic's this way where I call it sad zone.
Yeah.
Sunday night, after that, I'm like, I don't want to fucking be here.
I was just talking to Bill about that yesterday.
Fucking sad zone.
Yeah.
Get me the fuck out of this town.
Dude.
I've given this town everything that I fucking have.
That's why I stopped doing Sundays.
I did too.
Joey Diaz was like, gotta stop doing Sundays, dog. He's like,
nobody's slinging kit cock on a fucking Thursday.
Yeah, you gotta come fucking be with your family. Take your kids to school some Monday morning. You gotta fucking... It's the Lord's Day. You fly on the Lord's Day.
Fucking savage. Get the fuck out of
Joey will paint things in such a beautiful way. You go to the airport, watch a little football, have a few pops,
get
on the plane,
home,
pass out, come home, stab the wife a couple times, have pizza with the kids. You're out like a savage. Yeah, I stopped doing Sundays, and then the leap to theaters, by the way, it's not like a sure shot, and you definitely take a hit financially.
At first, yeah.
That's what they say. But if you can add shows, you can make your money back.
Well, it's funny because, like I said, I think you're at like 30 million on the machine story. I don't even know.
I think it's total. It's like I want to say it's at like 180 million total.
That's where mine is. Yeah, and it's like we were having the meeting today, and I go, look, guys, I just haven't capitalized properly on what has already happened. Which, by the way, and I don't know if this happens for you, where people are like, "Oh, you have a special?"
Yeah.
I'm a fan because I just watch you on my cell phone.
Yeah. People, I think that was why my first Netflix special did well for me, was because I think a lot of people thought I was just a guy on Travel Channel that was friends with Joe Rogan.
Right. You're Bert the Conqueror.
Yeah. I think a lot of people thought, oh, that's the guy from Travel Channel. He's friends with Joe. Like, because Joe was friends with a lot of guys that were like Les Stroud, who were just people that he found interesting. And they're like, oh, you must find him interesting.
Well, and Joe's one of those guys too, where he was the Fear Factor guy. He was the news radio guy.
Man, if he hasn't fucking shed those goddamn labels.
Right.
He's
the king of fucking everything right now.
I mean, what he's going through right now is like, he endorsed Bernie Sanders today.
I saw that.
When everyone hears this, it'll be a week from now. But he endorsed Bernie Sanders, and it split the liberals in half. Yeah. Like literally,
people are like, "Fuck this ape! How dare you fucking listen to Joe Rogan?" And then, which by the way, Joe Rogan is what I am, right? This middle of the road left, right? Like I'm a gun-toting left.
Yeah.
Right. I lean a little right sometimes, but socially, right? Yep. And Rogan has this great, like, fucking Rogan's that guy that you just go, I didn't listen to his podcast forever. I was just like,
oh, it's so fucking good.
I don't want to hear it.
It is so look, I'm
voice
his friend.
Annoys
I'm his
me,
friend,
right?
But fucking
bro, I listen to it now.
It is so god. Look, I've been a fan of this podcast. It's hard sometimes because I know him and we're close friends. And so, but I still watch his podcast, and like he had fucking Bill Maher on the other day. It was such a great podcast. I
want to watch that.
He had Don Gavin on. I watched it in the sauna this morning.
And then all my fans, Steve, get on Rogan. I'm like, yeah, let me just fucking get on Rogan because Obama's been on. Like what the fuck?
Oh, I don't know how anyone gets on. I have not in a while like reached out to say, hey, can I do the podcast? Just because it just seems so bizarre. I know how personally how busy he is. I know how overwhelmed he is. So like I, as his friend, wouldn't want to be a part of that overwhelmedness.
Well, and that's why
that's where I draw the line where I go, I can't imagine. I'm always shocked.
When your assistant called me and he was like, "Hey man, I have bad news. Like Bert just can't."
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Because fucking Bert has a wife.
You're one of the few people that I go when I was like, just tell Steve we'll get in the next time he's in town, because I know he's not going to be butthurt and be like, oh, what are you big timing me? I was like, no, I was like, Steve, like there are a few people like that where I can go, hey, tell them like where I go, it's getting overwhelming right now. But like I said, I'm always shocked when people like reach out to Rogan like, hey man, get me on your podcast. The fucking tone deafness of it.
Right.
I watched someone.
You want to get booked on fucking, I mean, he's the new Larry King. He's the new fucking, it's the future. I
watched.
Dude, you mentioned my name. You just go Steve Treviño on his podcast and my shit blew up. Like it was unbelievable. I was like, you know how sometimes you're like, something happened today because your shit's fucking people added you like crazy and you're like, oh, I wonder what happened today. And then all of a sudden I'm getting these little things from, which by the way, it's really cool to me because you're just Bert, right? Yeah. And people come, Bert Kreischer. And I'm like, yeah.
Hang on, it's my daughter, Isla. I'm concerned that she doesn't have a ride home. What's up, baby?
Taco Bell?
What?
Taco Bell?
I can't hear you.
Taco Bell.
I love Taco Bell.
Little racist.
Can we get it?
Yeah, get it. Fuck yeah, get it.
Yeah, there's a Mexican in the garage.
Go get Taco Bell. Do you know how hard that is for me to get Taco Bell?
My wife's on a diet.
I want, Dad, what do you want? Dad is on a podcast.
I want a podcast. I got to do a podcast. Beef Mexi melts, 10 of them, and a Mexican pizza.
Very racist.
All right, love you, baby. Love you. Get fire sauce. Get fire sauce. Get fire sauce. By the way, I know that I was with you were just saying I know you're Bert. and I'm gonna cut you off.
Well, no, it's just like people are like, oh my God, you know Bert Kreischer, and it's weird. Like I get this sense of pride, like when guys that I started with, and maybe all of us weren't. I wasn't friends with everybody, but we all were kind of.
If we saw each other at a club, we hang out and had a beer.
Yeah, right. And I remember like, Brett Ernst rolling up in his new car, and then soon after I had my new car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we all just kind of did this thing, and it's funny when people go, "Oh man, I'm going to this week." Brett Ernst is filming his special in Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club.
Brett Ernst's fucking special was so fucking good.
He's so funny.
It was so fucking good. I texted him. And I was like, dude, this special, I got to be honest with you, that might be the new move is just throw your specials on YouTube.
Because, yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, break them up into little pieces and put them out there. And
just let people find it.
My last special that's on Amazon Prime called Till Death is probably the funniest special out. I just broke it up into little pieces. And it's funny because people go, man, don't you want to be on Fallon? Yeah, man, I would love to be on Fallon. 150%. If Jimmy Fallon called today, I'd be on my knees sucking his dick because I love that show, right?
Yeah.
And what comic doesn't want to be on the Tonight Show?
Yeah.
However, when I put a video out, I get 1 million hits in 3 days. So I get the same ratings that he does.
Yeah.
And you are creating the fans that come out. And like I said, some people don't even watch the fucking specials.
I want to just cut the middleman out as much as possible and talk to my fans. Like not to that sounds weird to my fans, but like
I call them family. Fans is weird.
Yeah, but here's someone said to me, by the way, everyone that's listening to this podcast a lot is going to go, oh, here we go with this story. But this is really important because a couple things changed the way I looked at things, perspective wise. I was in West Palm at New Year's Eve and a guy came out shirtless in line to do the meet and greet. And he was like hammered. And he goes, I have to talk to you for like 2 minutes. You have to give me 2 minutes of your time. Bouncers grabbed him and I was like, no, I can listen to you. What's up? And he goes, I'm a fan. Do you know what that means? And I'm just brushing him off. I'm like, yeah, no, I know what that means. He's like, no, I don't think you do. He goes, you got to think of what you're a fan of. Like, I'm a fan. And he goes, it makes me happy when you succeed because I feel like I succeeded. He goes, because I picked you and I picked the right one. So when you start succeeding, I feel like
I told you guys
I'm succeeding.
Right.
And he goes, that's what a fan is. And he's like, don't underestimate that you have fans and they want to see you succeed. And then I so quickly flipped it around to like, shit, I'm a fan of. Now, at the time and to this day, and I know he's one of my friends, but I was a fan of Rogan's. I'm still a fan of Rogan's. When he got high with Elon Musk and my dad sent it to me, I felt like
proud.
I succeeded. Like I was
told
proud.
You. He's like, fucking badass.
I told you. And when people go, have you listened to the Joe Rogan podcast?
That's my friend.
I always go like, yeah, it's one of the great, like I'm always on his team. I'm his friend. So it gets complicated, but I'm also a fan. I've been a fan of Joe's for way longer than I've been a friend of Joe's. I've watched news radio and he made me laugh my dick off.
I mean, look, that's what's fucking great about this business, right? People that you were fans of, you become friends with. I mean, I'm in the airport, Dallas airport, and Tom Wilson, who is Biff.
Yeah.
Treviño, what's up? And I'm just like, this little kid inside of me is like, did fucking Biff say, Treviño, what's up? Walks up to me and we have a chat. And I'm just like, I know that dude.
It's and so that's when I started realizing it's okay to say fans because I do have fans. But then I started thinking, like, who am I a fan of? And then this is like the biggest epiphany I've had in my career, probably. I felt bad about promotion. Always felt embarrassed by it. I felt like it was cheap. Man.
And I feel like nobody gives a fuck.
But one time I was home on a weekend, and Monday morning, one of my buddies called and said, man, we missed you at Wilco this weekend. I'm a big fan of Wilco, Jeff Tweedy. I said, is a band from Chicago. I said, wait, what? He was like, yeah, Wilco is at the Palladium. And I was like, are you fucking serious? And he was like, yeah, I wish you could have been. Where were you this week? And I said, I was fucking home.
Right, I could have been
there. I was like, wait, I follow Wilco on Instagram. I follow them on Twitter.
They fucked me.
Like, they fucked me. Like, I actually felt like I was actually angry with Jeff Tweedy. And I thought,
like, you're supposed to let me know.
You're supposed to let me know. By the way, Jeff Tweedy, if you're listening to this, man, I got like $200. It's yours every time you come to LA. Now, I don't mean this in like an elitist way. I got $200 in my pocket.
Ready to go.
That's all yours because you've brought me so much joy in life listening to your music, times when driving my daughter home from the hospital the first time,
right?
And you came on and it was like,
memories,
memories. That every time I want Jeff Tweedy to fucking hear this. Every time you come to LA, I got $200. It's yours.
So
you
let me
gotta let me know,
right.
You motherfucker.
Can you spend $1 to let me know?
Take a second to go. Hey, right. I'm coming to fucking LA. Well, I know you're too cool to do that. And you're a musician and you're an artsy
you
dude.
get it too, right? Where after you leave the city, people go, "What the fuck?"
Well, that's when I
you
started
were there.
Saying, well, I said that to Jeff Tweedy in my head that Monday morning, and I was like, "Dude, this is fucked up. I'll buy your merch. I'm gonna buy a tour poster.
Right.
I'm gonna buy all these shirts. I go up and I go, give me one of all the shirts of my favorite band.
I love you.
I want to wear that shirt I want to wear a new Wilco shirt every fucking day. I'll buy every shirt. Even if I don't like the cotton, I'll buy the
VIP.
Yeah.
I'll buy the fucking.
Dude, I'll buy your tickets. I'm going to buy tickets. I'm also going to buy tickets for 3 friends. I'm going to bring my wife and another couple. Right. Like I will, and I'm going to drink a ton of beer.
Right. I'm going to be there for you.
I'm there for you, man. This is your money. It's sitting in my bank account waiting for you to take it.
You didn't let me know.
You didn't let me know. And so I got mad at him. And then I thought, I wonder if there's anyone out there that feels that way about me. And I thought, I bet there's, let's just say, I bet there's at least 100 people in a city that didn't know I was coming that would have bought a ticket.
And they were fucking bummed.
And then when they found out I was there, they were like, fuck. Yeah, and I then flipped that responsibility around to myself and I said, your job is to make as many talk about your tour as much as possible, because all we give a fuck about is people seeing us do stand-up. That's it.
That's all I care about.
I don't care about, like, I know I'm very happy. It was very fun doing that television show. It was a great experience. I had a great time with the crew. I had a blast. But that's not I didn't come out to Hollywood to
I want to do stand-up.
Make that. I want to do stand-up. Yep. I want to do specials. I want to just come up with an idea in the morning, tell it on stage, and I want people to laugh. That's all I
want people to slap the person next to them.
I want to find, this is why I love podcasting, is because you find silly fucking moments with your friends and then you just giggle. Like Bill Bert texted me this morning and he goes, can you believe we get paid to hang out for an hour every week or once a month?
Right.
And I was like, that's crazy. I said to Tom the other day, I have a podcast with Tom and with Bill. I said to Tom, I said, dude, do you realize I feel like I'm stealing money? Because I just come here and I want
to see you anyway.
Yeah, I want to see you. I don't get to see you enough.
We're going to bullshit anyway. We're going to talk shop. We're going to fucking say some stupid shit.
Two of my favorite comics, 2 of the best comics in our industry, I have an opportunity every month to sit down with them a couple times a month and hang out and just giggle.
Right.
And that's all I give a fuck about. That's really all I give a fuck about.
And then you're going to pay me?
And so then I said, I just flipped my business around and I was like, let's just work on promo videos. Let's really focus on that because I enjoy making them. I enjoy editing them. I go, let's make more promo videos and let's just make everyone know I'm on tour. I want people to go, fucking enough, man. I want them to say that. Because once they start saying it, that means those 100 people that I never got to are hearing that I'm there.
Right.
And you don't have that same experience. That is my business plan.
Well, it gets heavy, right? Because, like, I talk about my relationship with my wife and us almost getting a divorce and all of that. And when you have people come up to me and go, you got me through cancer. Without you, we probably wouldn't be married anymore. And it gets fucking heavy, dude. And it's a huge responsibility. And I take pictures and that's my fear too, is after the show, there's not much time to party anymore. I meet everybody.
I can't do that.
But that's what I mean. That's what scares me, is you get to a point where you go, look, I have to charge for meet and greet because I can only meet so many of you.
I do a raffle. Is a really great idea. And any comic.
Where did that idea come from, by the way? It's genius.
I just decided it was the easiest way to. What I do is you buy a ticket for $1. You can buy as many tickets as you want, or you can buy no tickets. If you don't really care about meeting me, that's totally cool. I'm very cool with that. And
it's genius.
Secret time. If you spend, by the way, I say this, and if you just know this, on the Birdie Boy World Tour that starts up this week in Burlington, Vermont. If you buy $50 worth of tickets, we pull your ticket anyway. I shouldn't say that.
Right, but we're like, hey, you're badass.
Anyone that's spending $50 to meet me, we pull their ticket anyway. So you don't have to buy.
You're awesome.
Yeah, no one needs to buy $100 worth of tickets. Just if you put 50
50's the minimum.
You're getting
right
pulled.
There,
but you can put in. It's meant for people that go.
Has anybody else done this? It's fucking genius.
No, and I meet 30 people, 60 people. We've raised it at times when it's bigger theaters and
I met with a guy, and I'm not going to name names, but he also managed. I was looking for a manager last month, right? I needed a new manager. You do the rounds, right? You meet fucking everybody, And one of the things that he said, he was like, "I'll make you a millionaire just in meet and greets." And I was like, I don't want to be a millionaire.
I don't have a problem with guys who do like $700 meet and greet tickets.
I'm not mad at you.
Yeah,
It's just not me.
I did it once when we were Sal, Nate Bargatze, and Kyle Kinane. We did, I think it was like a $350 meet and greet, and it sucked so bad for the people that I was like, they walked back and they're like, "Hey," and you're just like,
"Hey,
before the show,
$350.
yeah, you're like, "Hi, let's take a picture."
Right.
And it lends itself to classism of like only the wealthy get to do it.
And that's my problem, and like I said, man, I came from blue collar. My dad's a pipe fitter welder. I want the motherfucker that wakes up every day and goes to work. I drive down the road and I see these dudes working on the streets at night. I'm like, that's the real man.
Yeah.
Dude, that dude has fucking balls. That guy has integrity. That guy fucking loves his family. I want that dude to be able to come to my show and have a badass fucking time without breaking the bank.
There are times where I've heard that sentiment. Like I remember there was a guy in Philly. He came up to me and he was like, right before the show, he was like, "Dude, can I tell you why I like you?" I was like, "Why?" And he goes, "Your boy Tommy Buns, he's gotten too Hollywood, man. Guy's charging $35, $40 for a ticket at the Troc.
Right.
Man, you know what I like about you? Fucking $30, $40. I come to see you and I can have a great night. I can get fucking drunk. I can laugh. Dude, stay real. Stay fucking real." And I was like, yeah. In my head, I went back and I was like, yeah, I'm a man of the people. Like, I don't need to charge more money for a ticket. I'm a man of the people.
Right.
I get on stage and this same guy is drunk as fuck heckling me.
And you're like, that motherfucker.
And they dragged him out of the club. And I called Tom, and Tom goes, "Yeah, weed out the fucking losers." He's like,
money.
"Fuck the guy that's only got $40 to party." He goes, "Go for the guy like that who found a woman who got his life together." He goes, Tom's like, "This is a single guy that's pissing and moaning."
Right,
he's like, "Bert, he lives with his fucking grandmother.
Right.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck that dude."
Oh, but yeah,
But it's complicated, man. It's fucking. Yeah. It's like there's this. Yes, because there's nothing. The worst. I don't get hecklers anymore.
No, yeah.
The heckler I get is the super fan. Woo!
Yeah.
Woo! Oh my god, sexy man! Oh, say Captain Evil, and it's like, shut the fuck. I can't even tell you to shut up.
Mm-hmm.
I love you, and it's like, you're the fucking worst. You are the fucking worst.
Yeah, it's.
I'm glad you love me. I'm glad that you're losing your shit. I'm glad that you know every fucking word of every act I've ever put out, but you gotta be fucking cool.
Yeah, we had to kick out a bunch of people when I was in Cincinnati or Cleveland getting ready for my special. I was doing my warm-up shows and people were so out of control that I thought, did I pick the wrong city to come to?
Right.
Did I pick the wrong city?
I just remember them telling me in Tampa, they're like, "Oh yeah, dude, Bert does a fucking skip work Friday drunk show," and I'm like, how the fuck does he do that? That's one of the fucking funnest things I've ever done. We're actually planning another one. Well, because Tampa's home for you.
Yeah. Oh no. I did it all over the country.
No, but that's where
that's where I grew up. Yeah.
And like me, Corpus Christi area is where I grew up. That's where I first started selling tickets.
Oh no,
it was like back home.
The first place I started selling tickets was DC.
Really?
It was the first place I ever sold tickets. Thank you to Elliot in the Morning. I went in, did Elliot in the Morning, got drunk, and accidentally gave my wife's phone number out on the air and gave my password to Facebook.
And people went,
and it was so. I sold out that whole weekend so quickly. That was the first place I started making money selling tickets. That's the first place I did call and sick to work. I called Elliot up. I said, I got an idea for a show. This is before I was selling tickets, really. I was like, I got an idea for a show. He's like, what is it? And I go, I go in, I do radio with you, I drink, and then I go right to the club and I do stand up. And he goes, well, what do you mean? I go, we'll call and sick to work. And I do it. I won't announce. I'll announce it like week of, and I'll just say everyone call and sick to work, and that'll be the fun. Like people won't go to work that day. And he was like, I would put it out. And he goes, I don't know if you're going to be able to sell it out a week in advance. because I wanted to do it the morning of. I just wanted to go in and, on Friday and go,
it's happening. Follow me.
I'm here. Let's go. And so he's like, let's just for safety, let's do it like 2 weeks out. And I went, okay.
All right, whatever you want to do.
So I called in to Elliot and I said, yeah, I'm doing this show. I told him the idea, get on the air. And he's like, great. And I was like, tickets are available right now. And then we talked a little bit. I hung up and he called me back 10 minutes later on air and he's like, it's sold out. And I went, what?
Fucking awesome.
He was like, it's sold out. And I was like, fuck.
Great.
I was so happy.
We're getting drunk on Friday.
I got drunk that morning. I was calling in. It was like 5 a.m. I opened a bottle of champagne. I was like, that was the first time I ever sold anything out.
I love it, dude. You're like, fucking open the dom.
And then everywhere I did Calling Sick to Work sold out. Everywhere. It was probably the first thing I did right in my career where I was like, I have an idea. I'm going to see if this works. And I did it.
It's going to work.
Tampa, Philly was like a big one. I did Philly on Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, fuck.
I did, especially if you could pair it with a holiday.
Yeah, like Patrick's Day or
That's so
Cinco de
interesting you
Mayo.
say that. That's so interesting you say that. That's so interesting
Dude,
you say that.
Everybody.
St. Patrick's Day would be a great way to
That's
day to.
fucking nuts, dude.
I got one
Nuts.
planned. I'm
But
doing a big one.
But it's cool when my biggest issue was the comp tickets,
Yeah.
right? When I started selling tickets, when nothing made me more mad than people coming up to me going, I got a free ticket for you and I would have paid. I'm like, motherfuckers.
Oh, you got to get rid of those.
Oh, that's gone now.
Yeah,
But I'm saying
yeah.
several years ago, because when I went viral, I called up Brea and I go, look, I don't know what's happening, but give me a Wednesday. I sold out in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. Which, by the way, I think you're the only one to sell out the new Brea completely.
Oh, for real?
That's what I heard.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I heard the check they fucking cut you, dude. I was like, fucking A. Good for you.
That was the biggest check I'd ever gotten.
Doesn't it trip you out, though? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how long you've been with your wife, but probably as long as I have. But, dude, me and my wife are partners. We're homies. We're in this together.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, we'll look at our checks and just be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I'm not making nearly the money. I mean, I don't have fucking garage man cave money, you know?
No, yeah, no.
But,
It's really nice to go from a place where you're making $900 and then you make more than you ever thought you'd make in a weekend. It's really nice, but I think at the same time, it's like
my goal was 10 grand. I go, if I can make 10 grand a week,
dude, my goal was $5,000.
I'm like, if I could just make 10 grand a week,
I'm
like that would make I'll be so fucking happy.
When I got my first TV show, I got paid $5,000 a week. I did the math incorrectly. I was on the corner of Franklin and Vine with my buddy Eddie Fernandez, and I said, I got the call, and they're like, "You got the X show. It's $5,000 a week." And I was like, "Oh my god!" Hung up. I looked. I go, Eddie, I'm making $5,000 a week. We did the math wrong. We both looked at each other, and I said, "I'm a fucking millionaire."
Right. That's done.
Yeah.
How many weeks? Well, it's fucking.
I go, I'm a fucking millionaire.
Count it.
And so my goal was to get back, because I then did, a couple of shows and then get on the road. I was like, if I can get back to $5,000 a week,
life's great.
And I remember when I got my first set of offers for $5,000.
Was that after Bert the Conqueror?
No, it was before Bert the Conqueror. The offer was $5,000. Oh no, I'm wrong about this. I remember when I got my first round of offers and I was going to make $100,000 in a year.
You were like, fuck yeah.
I remember where in important moments in my life, especially when we lived in this one apartment, I remember where my desk was positioned.
Right.
We moved this desk to like 3 different places. This is when the desk was against the stairs. And I remember being like, I can't fucking believe I'm going to make 6 figures from stand-up.
Telling dick jokes.
And I did. I was
awesome.
like, that's not even bonuses. That's I remember going,
right.
My guarantee.
That's happening.
That's happening.
Right.
I'm making $100,000. I was so proud. And I came home.
Oh, dude, I would be stressing the fuck out at Christmas. At Christmas, I'd be like,
dude,
I have no fucking bookings. 0. And then I would get a call like almost at Christmas where they're like, all right, dude, we have some fucking dates for you. And I'm like, oh my God, thank God.
See, dude, I stressed out at Christmas. I remember going Christmas shopping for the girls, and I remember distinctly, I know this will sound catty, but seeing good-looking, wealthy parents loading their thing up with presents.
And you're just
and I couldn't afford anything. Yeah. And I remember getting angry at Leanne that we were poor when it was my fault.
Right.
I remember being angry at her.
I was so mad all the time, dude. I used to tell her, I'm like, I gotta do fucking Mexican jokes. Because like, look, man, just to make it so you understand, in the history of stand-up comedy, there's only been one Mexican-American to ever have a show. One. Gabriel just got one now, so that makes two. So in the history of television, of stand-up comedy, so the odds of me even
George Lopez? Yeah.
So the odds of me even fucking making it are insane.
There's, I got really fascinated. By the way, I won't say names, but I'll say it's Jesus. But like, I got fascinated at the hierarchy in Mexican comedy. How like not everyone's out to help each other.
No, they're not. And look, when I met Jesus, the guy had 3 minutes, but it was the funniest fucking 3 minutes you'd ever seen.
Yeah.
He was the sweetest human being, which he still is.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to help him. And I made my mistakes, coming up with Jesus, but I was doing the best I could at the time because I was lucky they would even let me bring him.
Yeah.
I was in that situation. You know what I mean? And I would beg to bring him. But my goal with Jesus was, hey man, let's divide and conquer. Let's get you really fucking funny so that we can then help people. Like I'll help you, you get fucking badass, and then you go help. And I think Jesus is on that tip too, right? Where
he's just such the sweetest guy.
He's the sweetest dude in the world. But I mean, just to put it in perspective, there's only been 4 Latinos on HBO ever. And all 4 of them,
who?
Mencia, Paul Rodriguez, George Lopez, and Felipe Esparza. Guess where they're all from? Los Angeles.
Really?
So in the history of HBO, all the stand-ups they've ever put on the air, Netflix has only made one special from Netflix for a Latino. One.
Fluffy.
So just to give you an example.
That can't be right.
I'm believe me, I live in that world.
Yeah.
And like I said, and guess where Gabriel's from? Los Angeles.
Is he? Yeah.
I'm a kid from Gregory, Portland, Texas, who is not LA. What chance do I have?
Well, I think.
Isn't that crazy?
I can't believe that it seems like diversity has reached out when it comes to LGBTQ.
Gabriel Iglesias was selling out arenas before Kevin Hart ever was.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Hart's the biggest movie star in the world. Gabriel Iglesias just now got a TV show. And Gabriel Iglesias was selling out arenas way before Kevin Hart ever did it.
Gabriel Iglesias, I just talked to him on the podcast.
Monster.
He is a different. That's a really weird career when you think about it. When you go, he would sell out 2 weekends in a row in Ontario.
Yeah. But every Mexican comic's been that way. George Lopez was already selling out. He was already a millionaire when he got his TV show. They didn't put him on HBO until he had a TV show. Gabriel Iglesias was already a millionaire before he got a TV show. It's never been the other way around. Mencia, the same thing. Mencia was already selling tickets way before he got a TV show. So like I have to take that path where I have to go.
Who are the 3 Mexican comics that did the
Three Amigos? Freddie Soto, God rest his soul.
Dude, I'm fascinated by Freddie Soto.
That guy would have been the biggest comedian on earth.
Was he Mexican?
He was Mexican-American from Texas. He was from El Paso.
Yeah.
It was Pablo. Well, originally it was Mencia, George, and Paul, because those were the 3 biggest Latinos at the time doing stand-up.
It was
Lopez, Mencia,
and Paul
Rodriguez. They couldn't get along. So then Mencia was like, fuck you, I'm going to do it anyway. So then he did Pablo Francisco, Freddie Soto. I was on that tour.
Yeah.
I was on that tour. That's where I met Freddie. That's where I fell in love with Freddie. Freddie and I had a beautiful relationship. But then Paul Rodriguez and George go, fuck you, we're doing Latin Kings of Comedy. So then they split. And then they did Latin Kings of Comedy. And then Mencia, Pablito, and Freddie did the Three Amigos.
Wow.
But nobody has had commercial success other than George Lopez. So in the history of comedy, what's
so crazy?
When I started comedy, I started stand up in 99. It's when I walked into an improv to work the door. At that point, there was 0 famous Latino comedians. Paul Rodriguez had been on HBO, and that was it. Mencia had been on HBO.
I think I would have known Paul Rodriguez at that time. Only because he was in like DC Cab or something.
Right. But when I remember George coming through the Addison Improv when I was waiting tables there and going, oh my, like he would sell everything out, ad shows, the whole fucking thing. I'm like, it's the funniest dude I've ever seen. I was with George in Austin opening for George when Sandra Bullock's sister came up to him and was like, I'm bringing Sandra Bullock to your show tomorrow. She has a deal at ABC. She has to see you. And then the next day, Sandra comes in. And then Sandra's the one that had the TV show at ABC. So George didn't get a TV show. Sandra Bullock had the TV show and she gave it to George.
Really?
Yeah.
George Lopez is an interesting guy. Is he cool?
No. If I'm being honest, no. But he's sad. He's sad inside.
Really?
And that makes me sad.
What's he sad about?
He's not a happy dude, man.
Really?
He's just not a happy guy. And you know, I think he battles with his past. I mean, you know, things happen to me in my past that I've really worked hard to fucking get over for the sake of my wife, for the sake of my child, right?
Yeah.
I think George never got over it, you know,
Really?
and George and I have had our spats. I mean,
what happened to him in his past? Just like parenthood?
Parents, and I might be misquoting. So, you know, from what I understand, his parents left him with his grandma. Grandma and grandpa raised him, right? He had huge separation, you know, he has issues. You know, you see the guy get on stage and he's mad at Eric Estrada because when he was 18 years old, Eric Estrada didn't shake his hand and sign an autograph for him. And it's like, guy, you're 40. You're almost 50. Get the fuck over it, dude. You're going to get on HBO. You waited to get on HBO to fucking call Eric Estrada out? That's some deep shit, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, and I remember, you can ask Jesus about this one. I see Jesus and I walk across the street to go see Ted Nugent at the House of Blues.
Mm-hmm.
And we end up upstairs hanging out and George walks in and Jesus is like, oh my God, George Lopez. I'm like, dude, I know George. He's a dick. So I go over to George and George is 3 sheets to the wind. Steve, I'm going to help you and blah, blah, blah. Call me tomorrow. Let's talk. Let's do it. And Jesus is like, it's happening, dude. Fucking, I heard him tell you that. And I go, watch what happens. No phone call back, no email, right? Yeah. And Jesus was like, what the fuck happened? I heard him tell you. And I'm like, but look, you have to understand that when you're a Mexican comedian, you have to work so fucking hard to get anything that by the time he got it, he was like, fuck all of you guys.
Yeah.
Right? I worked my fucking ass off to get here.
I heard about the beef between him and Mencia.
Yeah.
Like where he like choked him out or something.
Oh yeah, at the Laugh Factory.
And then...
But then you hang out with George and he's the fucking sweetest, coolest dude you ever met in your life.
I've never met him.
You know, but he's just, you know what I mean? And then there's other times where, you know, Gabriel gave Jerry Rocha, who's extremely funny.
I know Jerry from Houston.
He's fucking hilarious, right? Gabriel produced a special for him. And I tweeted out, I go, good for you, Gabriel, helping people when things that George should have done.
Yeah.
So then George, call me, Steve, right? And I'm like, look, George, I go, we have a problem in Hollywood. And the problem is that somebody as talented as me, somebody as talented as Jesus, we're not breaking because we need help, man. And he goes, well, fuck you, Steve. Where's my buddy cop movie? I go, who's going to be your buddy? Bring motherfuckers up.
Yeah.
Pryor brought people up.
That's the one thing that's the one thing that I think that Rogan really changed the game in. I mean,
dude, Rogan,
the fucking game was
if you were fucking remotely friends with Rogan, he helped you.
He made sure that he put you over.
Because he is and it sounds no homo, but he's a confident man.
Yeah.
Rogan is just a confident man.
He definitely was like
he's not worried about you. He's not worried about Ari. He's not worried about
there's no I mean he was to the point where he would be like, hey man, if you ever need help selling tickets, let me know and I'll tweet it out for you. I remember one time being like, I was going to Portland and I don't think I'd moved any tickets there and I called Rogan and I was like, hey man, would you mind tweeting for me? He goes, of course. He goes, send me what you want tweeted and I'll just copy it and paste it.
Smash.
Fucking weekend's done. Right. And you're like, and all it took is once again, it's like people not knowing. But yeah, that bums me out.
So there's some kind of insecurity within the community. Yeah, and so my goal with Jesus, when I saw him, I go, this guy's fucking talented. He's funny. He's Mexican American. He's great, right?
Yeah.
And he needs the help, right? So I helped him, and I told him, I go, you don't want to be my guy.
No, you don't want to be anyone's guy. I've said that to every guy I've worked with. I was like, don't be my guy.
Don't be my guy. I go, Bert asked you to work, you fucking work. Pauly Shore asked you to work, you fucking work. I go, and I will give, you don't have, I go, I'm here to give you weeks when you don't have weeks.
Yeah. I told all the guys on this tour, I said, give me your available weeks. If I can book all of you, I'll book all of you.
Right.
But like, I was always like, you got it. But maybe the best thing that ever happened to me, was the, when me and Jay got into our beef and we stopped being friends, that separation, I realized for the first time, like really realized, I was like, oh, I'm alone in this business.
Yeah.
Like, this is just my flight. Like, I'm the only, I remember.
I went through that too. I went through that.
It's so comfortable to be some guy's guy and be like, he tours with ... or he tours with ... And I remember I remember saying, I will never go on stage before another person ever again
anymore
for the rest of my career. Doesn't matter how big that person is. And I've had opportunities where like big comics were like, hey man, I'm doing a huge venue.
We should do it.
Do you want to open up for me?
Right.
And I'm like, I don't open for anybody.
Yeah.
Like this is Bert's race. I remember, and it's a cool feeling to be at I was at the Wilbur one time and my first time I did it, and I was backstage and I thought, so funny, man. It's just me. Like, if you had a band, you'd be like celebrating with everyone, but it's just me to celebrate, like that I sold out the Wilbur. And I was like,
that helped me move. When I moved to Texas, that happened for me.
Well, it seems like you really popped when you moved to Texas.
Cause I was like, fuck everybody. I'm not worried about what that Mexican-American comedian's doing. I'm not worried about what Bert Kreischer's doing. As a matter of fact, it changed for me that I'm so happy now, right? Your fucking shit went viral with you dancing with your shirt off. And I was like, dude, that's my bro, man. Look at this shit going fucking viral. That shit's hilarious. So your mind has to change into, it's my race.
It's
my
just me.
shit.
And by the way, I've had people critique me and say things like, I can't believe you do that. Or like, hey man, I wouldn't be doing stuff like that.
But it's genuine to you.
I go, it's what I want to do. I remember, and this,
you're a fun fucking, and that's another thing that makes me mad too. It's like when I do see like a comment like that where I'm like, Bert doesn't do anything he doesn't want to fucking do. And Bert doesn't need the fucking money. So he does it because he thinks that you'll fucking enjoy it.
I just want the people that do enjoy it to enjoy it and know I'm coming to their town. That's it. That's my only, and I said to, I remember one time my special was premiering on Netflix and I thought what I'll do is I'll go around to all my friends at the store with my phone and be like, landscape mode, hey, how do you enjoy a comedy special? And so I'll make these videos of all these guys, I like to get drunk. I think you should watch it by yourself. You should watch it with a group of friends.
Right.
And I was Bill, Sebastian, I think Tom, maybe I forget. It was everyone that was at the store, whatever night.
Right.
Dalia, Jim Florentine, and Sebastian looked at me at the end and he goes, and by the way, you could see this as shitty. I don't. I see this as like a compliment in a weird way. He goes, he gets done doing it, he looks at me, he goes, I would never do that in a million years.
Who said that?
Sebastian.
Right.
And I
what
go,
are you doing?
I go, why? And he goes, it makes me uncomfortable. Like, that doesn't make you uncomfortable? And I went, oh, of course it does. And he goes, then why do you do it? And I go, Sebastian, I want people to see my special.
Right.
And I go, and I don't have a big reach. I need I need to do everything I can. And he looked at me like, that's right. Like, that's what we all did to get in this business.
Right.
We all were awkward and uncomfortable and walked up to a club and we're like, do you guys have an open mic night?
Right.
Maybe I get a job here because I would like to be a comedian. And then everyone's like, you think you're funny? Every one of us had to do that. I just never stopped doing it. I just was always like, that humility that I brought when I tried to get into stand-up to the Boston Comedy Club and I said, I'll do anything, I'll mop up, I'll whatever. The same humility is with me today where I go, I'll do whatever the fuck. Like, I'll get the Speedo and dance if that's what it takes to get people to come see my shows.
That's what drives me crazy about, and by the way, I don't bring in anybody new anymore. I just don't, right? Yeah. I just keep the crew that I have. And, I used to be really big into, taking Tony Hinchcliffe on the road or Matt Edgar or Jesus or Francisco Ram, where I'm like, come on guys, take on the road. And now I got my guys and I'm good. But, if I talk to a young comic and I go, hey, you should do this road gig with me. And the first words out of their mouth are, how much am I going to make? You're fucking done. Where am I going to stay? You're fucking done. You're done, guy. I don't want you on the road.
Wow, that's a really, I remember hearing. I remember someone was like, I remember my manager was like, "Hey, this person will feature for you in ... but they want ... And I went,
who the fuck?
I go, tell him I'm going to pass.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we're having a hard time. I go, no, I'll do the show by myself.
Yeah, I'm good.
I can do 2 hours on stage. I don't need this person.
Right.
They're just getting an opportunity. And then they call back and he's like, oh, he'll do it for the regular price. And
no, you're done.
Yeah. And I was like, by the way, I said he'll do it. It was a she. So, but I was like, no, they're done. And I just wouldn't work with them. I was like, fuck them. No. And by the way,
that's what I loved about Jesus. I mean, Jesus was, at that time for me, I was hustling, trying to keep these headlining gigs for no money.
Yeah.
And Jesus was ride or die. Jesus was like, I don't give a fuck. I'll sleep in the car with you, Steve. I'll sleep on the floor with you.
Dude,
let's go.
I remember listening to Amy Schumer. She was at my house having dinner with her then boyfriend at the time. I think ended up being her tour manager. But she was having dinner and she got a call from her agent from her booking agent. By the way, I never spoke to my agent on the phone ever. She got a call and they were like, and by the way, she wasn't fucking famous. I think she'd been on Last Comic Standing, but we had both done this Reality Bites Back show that no one saw. And they were like, hey, Attell wants you to feature for him. And she was like, what date? And she said, and she was like, yeah, I can only do it for like, it's got to be like 1,000. Or I want to say she said 3,000. I know she didn't.
Right.
But it was like an aggressive number, 1,500. And I remember it was like, whoa. And she was like, yeah, then I won't do it. And I go, I want to be like, I'll do it for free.
Well, I'll go. Yeah. I'll go.
Women have not to ever class this out into men versus women. Women have always been more confident asking for more money in comedy.
Yeah, but I also think that there's a type of person and a type of comedian that like demands shit and it works, right? Like, and you know, like me, you go to these comedy clubs and like so and so was here last week. What a pain in the fucking ass.
Yeah.
Right. This guy's a pain in the ass. He's a dick, but we want him back. And it's like,
why? I never understood how those people got through.
But they're like, I've never asked for $1, right? Even to this day, here's an offer, Steve. I'm like, cool. And then my manager's like, hey, whoa, hold on, Steve. And I'm like, I'm just happy to be doing stand-up comedy.
You remember, like, we'd all hear horror stories about Eddie Griffin.
Oh, like, Jesus Christ.
But
he continues to work.
He works all the time. And you would just
Spears.
You would hear horrible fucking stories and you'd be like, how come they get to work? Like, I feel like if I did that,
I'd be gone.
Yeah.
But then, you know, I think at the end of the day, if you're good, the cream always rises to the top. Right. And my goal was like, look, I just want to be a good stand-up comedian. I want to be a really good stand-up comedian. I want to be very good at what I do. And it's gotten more serious for me now and you're probably the same way, where when I'm getting ready to film a new special, I mean, I work on that thing. I have my friends help me, and that thing is fucking tight.
Yeah.
You know, and I take it very seriously.
What is the next step for you?
I want to do another special.
Yeah.
I also want to show Hollywood, because I've had zero opportunities from Hollywood. Zero. I've never had a TV show. I've never had a deal. I've never had a script deal. I've never, nothing. I've never been offered a special. Everything I've done on my own.
Yeah.
This next special, if I have to do it on my own, I will. But I will show Hollywood and the world that I sell tickets and that I am a force to be reckoned with. So I'm going to film a special. I care so much about the veterans, and that's one of the things that I get behind. So I'm going to do a huge special in front of a bunch of veterans and show America that I'm the fucking best comedian out there, doing what I do.
Yeah.
Right. And just continue to put out those specials. Like I said, man, I'm Mexican American. That, you know, I have to become Gabriel Iglesias before we get a TV show. I mean,
that's crazy.
It's a damn shame that Gabriel's been selling out arenas for the past 15 years and he's just now getting a TV show. It's insane.
That is really when you
There's
hear it
something
that way,
wrong.
that is fucked up.
There's something wrong.
I'll tell you the best.
Jesus Trejo is as talented as he is, and he's not. Where's his deal? Where's his sitcom? Where's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, and myself, Pablo Francisco, you know, there's a lot, and Felipe finally got his. Felipe deserves his. Felipe is fucking hilarious, but I'm not them. I'm a very different Mexican American.
Very, very different. And that's what I think that's where things should go is that, it's so funny. I think Hollywood sees Mexican as one thing.
Yeah.
That's
the immigrant. That's the, I was on welfare. My parents came from Mexico, right? There's a pattern, which is funny because that pattern are the 4 people that got on HBO.
Yeah.
Is the immigrant story.
Yeah.
I don't have that story. I'm Mexican-American, but.
Where it was like the one thing, like, do you remember when your mom would bring in McDonald's? I don't know the George Lopez's bit, but like something like that.
The
where
Mexicans were different, bro.
Yeah.
We're just different.
And they don't have enough room for just a guy who hunts and fishes and
family man.
Yeah, family man. Like just happens to also be Mexican.
Right.
I think if you grew up in Texas, you're like, yeah, those guys exist too. Like I grew up in Florida. Like whatever people think Cuban is.
But I do think that Al Madrigal gets that pass, right? Al Madrigal gets to be the Mexican-American that's not your stereotype, but Al's half.
Yeah.
Right? But still, I mean, Al's an extreme talent. You know that. But Al does get a little love in the idea that, hey, come play the Mexican dude at the Comedy Store for the TV show.
Yeah.
Well, I forget what it's called, but.
Something's burning. No, that's my name of my cooking show.
Oh.
Jesus Christ, I'm fucking
But you know
stupid.
what I mean? So, my goal is to continue to do what I do, be fucking good at it.
Yeah.
And get on the radar of Hollywood.
Do you have your sitcom idea already?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why don't we just shoot it at All Things Comedy?
I would love to.
Just shoot it and just shoot a pilot.
Look, man, as a Mexican-American, every time I see a pilot, because we get to see all the pilots, right?
Yeah.
It's like, fucking this shit again? The fucking taco again?
Yeah.
The fucking, hey, my grandma also lives at our house. Like, what the
Abuelita.
fuck? Right. Abuelita has a crazy accent.
Ven acá, por favor.
Right. So, for me, it's like, I happen to know that Mexican-Americans like myself are ready for that. Oh, they're like me. Right. I want to be as Jewish as, what's the show? The Goldbergs.
Yeah.
I want to, they're clearly a Jewish family, right? But they're American as fuck.
Yeah.
Ray Romano was clearly an Italian family.
But they're just American.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I want to be for America.
The big thing right now is Spanish speaking comedy.
Which is it pisses me the fuck off.
Why?
Because it's a step backwards. Because Hollywood already thinks that that's what the fuck we are.
Yeah.
And all we're doing is fucking letting them know, yes, that this is what we are.
Segura's planning a big tour through South America.
And I'm like, Tom.
Yeah, he's like, I was like, are you getting me too? He was like, what? I go, what is this backup plan you got? This fucking just safety hatch.
But again, to me, it's like going backwards, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Now,
I think
I'm not mad at Tom.
No, yeah.
Do your thing, man. Let's just, and I hate to dive into this because I do have to go.
I gotta get you out of here.
But for example, HBO has this incentive. Oh, we're going to get on the Latino tip. They fucking put all of our Latino comics on HBO and a Latino.
Yeah.
We're not good enough to be on fucking HBO. They offered me one.
Yeah.
HBO goes, oh, I had finished my hour Till Death, which is on Amazon Prime. And we went to HBO and HBO goes, we don't want that, but we'll give Steve a half hour on HBO Latino. And I went, go fuck yourself. I don't want to be on fucking HBO Latino, which by the way, HBO Latino, 90% of it is in Spanish.
Yeah.
And now you're doing English stand-up right? And all the Mexican-American comedians, good for them, because they got to get what they got to fucking get.
Yeah.
Right? They got to do what they got to do. But I'm like, really, HBO? We're not fucking good enough to be on HBO? Al Madrigal's not good enough to be on HBO?
Al Madrigal's fucking so talented.
Dude's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough to be on HBO? Something's wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do.
So for me, I keep doing my stand-up. I keep showing the world what the fuck I do, how I do it. My wife is Mexican-American. My son's Mexican-American. We're very proud to be American. And if I can show that family on TV with my spin and my mind, then it's a hit. I just need somebody to have the fucking balls to go. You have to understand that these executives, the only Mexicans that they deal with are their maids and gardeners.
By the way, I was about to say, clean their houses.
Right. So when they talk to me and I pitch them, because I have pitched, and I pitch them my show, they look at me and go,
so fucking fascinating.
They go, would Maria, my maid, watch this show? Probably not.
That's so funny.
Isn't
That's
that
right.
crazy?
The only Mexicans they know. It's like I know.
You know me.
Well, no, but just because as comics we have a real wide berth of friends.
Fucking everybody.
Yeah, we know everybody, and so that's why when people go, say my sensitivity levels are off because like one of my good friends is Donnell Rollins. So how you gonna fucking like?
But you, Donnell Rollins,
my wife,
Justin Martindale would all sit at a table.
Yeah,
fucking chum it up with Theo Vaughn.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But my wife probably only really knows the Mexicans that like
work here.
Yeah, that work here. That's so funny, Steve. I never thought of it that way.
So they have. That's why when they see the George Lopez, the Felipe Esparza, that LA urban Latino, they go, "That's it. That's the guy." And they don't realize that Mexican Americans are all over this country.
Yeah.
Especially in Texas, New Mexico, Arizona.
Some wear camouflage hats.
Dude, you know how fucking great it is when I have Mexican Americans come up to me and they go, "Thank you. Fucking thank you. Thank you for not perpetuating the stereotype. Thank you for not being a fucking on welfare drug addict. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for not doing piñata jokes." Because it's time. Right? The time has come. I tell people all the time, George Lopez, amazingly talented.
Yeah.
I remember watching George and falling on the ground laughing. He was big in the 90s. Right?
Yeah.
That means that his fans' kids are in their 30s. And you're trying to sell the same shit.
That's crazy. They are kids of people that love George Lopez that experience that thing, but they experience something totally. They evolved. They're more American than they are Mexican, I think, at times.
It's like I tell you, I had a black comic friend of ours go, "You're so lucky to be Latino." And I go, "Why?" And he goes, "Because, you get that Latino crowd." And I go, "Really?" I go, "Let me," and I told him the same stats that you have, right?
Yeah.
That I told you. And I go, "Listen, man," I go, "imagine if you're a black guy or a black person in America and your only example of the black community is Cat Williams. The only comic you have is Cat Williams.
It would be horrible.
That's how it is for me.
Yeah.
That's how it is for the Mexican American in this country. Only 100 roles last year were cast for Latinos. 100. Of those 100 roles, 60% of them were rapists, murderers, drug dealers, and represented as low income.
Uh-huh. But that's not who. I mean, I know this is a stupid statement, but that's not who Mexicans are.
But what does the white guy in fucking middle America see? Right? Through the media.
Mm-hmm.
What does he see on TV? What does he see in movies? He goes, "Well, that's what they are." Right? Well, there they are.
And then that guy goes hunting with you, and in the middle of the hunting trip goes, "Wait, you're Mexican?"
Yeah, right.
Oh, I thought you were just dark Irish.
Yeah. What the fuck? I thought you were Italian. I get that a lot.
Yeah, Italian.
You're not Italian? I'm
Treviño,
like, no,
right?
I'm Mexican, American. So it's a trip, man. And what's funny is you're not racist. You're my friend, so you don't think about it, right? You don't step back and go, "Wait a minute, Treviño's odds of making it are so fucked."
I don't think about that at all.
Right. Jesus's odds of making it are so fucked.
Jesus is way more Mexican than you, though.
Right. Which
he's so Mexican he can't swim.
I'm hoping that that'll help him because he's from Los Angeles. He's Mexican as fuck, right?
It's fucking. He grew up mowing lawns.
Right.
He's fucking. His dad has a machete. Like he is very.
He has to go to the hospital with his parents to translate.
Man, he is. Oh yeah, he is. That kid's a fucking warrior.
But he's super fucking talented.
He really is.
And,
I'm going to see him this weekend.
Well, tell him I love him and that I'm rooting for him and that I miss him.
I will.
I miss him.
Fuck yeah. Well, dude, tell me what dates you have to promote. I'll get you out of here. I know you got your show.
Ooh, let's see what we got going on. Let me pull
this comes out right now.
Let me pull out the old calendar. A lot of good shit going on. February. Oh, I'm doing Punchline Sacramento. I'm doing Stand Up Live.
When are you doing Sacramento?
Punch.
When?
I'm doing that February 6th through the 9th.
I'm in Sacramento February 7th. We got a party.
Well, we're partying for sure.
Yeah.
And then Stand Up Live. And then I'm doing Helicopters for Heroes, which is an organization that me and my friends put on every year. And we take wounded veterans in helicopters and they shoot pigs out of the helicopters. It's fucking cool.
Do you videotape that?
Yeah. Helicoptersforheroes.com. You got to check it out. Then I'm doing the Hard Rock in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, I'm in Fort Lauderdale May 2nd.
And then Ontario Improv after that.
Nice.
Always touring, man. You know that.
Yeah, dude, you
Always
stay on the
doing my
grind. It's
thing,
like
dog.
it's. I want to know what I'd do if I didn't tour.
Yeah, I mean, there's times, and then what's weird is I'll like, fuck it, I'm taking a week off, and then I'm fucking out of my mind. Like, this is boring. What are we doing? You know, my wife's like, let's go to the house in Rockport. I'm like, that's fuck it. I want to go on the fucking road.
Yeah.
You know,
I'd rather be at the Omaha Funny Bone with Colleen.
I love you, my brother.
Dude,
Thanks
I love
for
you
having
too,
me,
man. Congrats on all your success.
And I'm glad you got the memo on the red shirt, sweatpants.
Yeah. It's
Handle it,
the fat guy outfit.
I love you, Bert.
Love you too, brother.